I was chatting with a friend the other day, who runs a small e-commerce fulfillment center out of his garage, and he was staring at a stack of barcode readers on his laptop, wondering if any of them were worth the extra cash. He told me he's tried a couple of cheap USB sticks that barely read the larger QR codes on his shipping labels, and now he's terrified of blowing his budget on a high-end unit that ends up gathering dust. If you're in that exact spot trying to decide whether a dedicated scanner is worth the investment before you hand over your hard-earned money, this is the kind of rundown you need. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started digging into the Datalogic 9820203012103054, the first thing that struck me was how the model sits in Datalogic's broader lineup of industrial scanners. The brand has a reputation for supplying barcode readers to grocery chains, warehouses, and healthcare facilities, so you can already guess that the device is built with a business-grade mindset rather than a hobbyist's afterthought. That context matters because it tells you what kind of daily grind the scanner is meant to survive: fast-moving checkout lanes, inventory counts that happen all day long, and the occasional tumble off a workbench. Who should actually buy this thing? If you're a retailer who needs to scan both traditional 1D UPCs and the newer 2D data matrix, or QR codes that appear on shipping documents, this Datalogic model is a solid match. It's also a fit for small to mid-size warehouses that run a mix of handheld and fixed-mount scanning stations, especially when you need a unit that can toggle between USB plug-and-play on a laptop and a more permanent connection to a point-of-sale terminal. The scanner's design suggests it can handle the sort of scan-and-go workflow where you're moving quickly between pallets, because Datalogic typically equips these models with a decent read distance that lets you hover a few inches away from a label and still get a clean decode. On the flip side, if you're a casual user who only needs to read barcodes on your phone for price checks, or if you're a hobbyist building a DIY inventory system at home, you'll probably be paying for features you never touch. The Datalogic 9820203012103054 isn't the kind of device that slides into a backpack for occasional use. Its weight and the need for a stable work surface can feel a bit overkill if you're only scanning a handful of items a week. In that scenario, a low-cost Bluetooth scanner or even a smartphone app would give you the same result for a fraction of the price. Let's get into the practical strengths that matter after you unbox the thing. First, the connectivity options. This model ships with a USB interface that's recognized instantly by Windows and most POS software, which means you won't waste time hunting for drivers. In the reviews I combed through, the most common praise centered on how the scanner just works out of the box, with popular inventory platforms like Fishbowl and QuickBooks. That plug-and-play experience translates directly into less downtime for a busy shop floor. Second, the decoding capability. Datalogic scanners are known for using a laser or imaging sensor that can read damaged or low-contrast barcodes. Think of those faded grocery stickers you see on older products. In a real-world test scenario, a retailer I spoke with mentioned they could reliably scan a torn shipping label on a cardboard box that other cheaper scanners missed. That kind of reliability can be the difference between a smooth checkout line and a bottleneck where cashiers have to manually type in product codes. Third, durability. The unit's housing feels solid, with a rubberized grip that resists slipping even when your hands are a little sweaty from a busy shift. The design is also geared toward withstanding accidental drops. The scanner's internal components are mounted on a shock-absorbing frame. For a business that can't afford a broken scanner to halt operations, that resilience is a real money saver over the long haul. Now, the weaknesses you'll notice once you start using it daily. The biggest one is the learning curve around the aiming window. Because the scanner is optimized for a specific distance, you have to get used to holding it at just the right angle to capture the whole barcode in one sweep. New staff members often need a quick demo to avoid the partial scan issue that can cause a beep, but no read. It's not a deal breaker, but it does add a few seconds of training time. Another practical downside is that the unit doesn't come with built-in Bluetooth. If you wanted a cordless setup that lets you move around a warehouse without being tethered to a PC, you'd have to buy an external Bluetooth dongle and hope the driver plays nicely. Some users have reported occasional latency when using third-party adapters, which can be frustrating in high-speed environments where every millisecond counts. Finally, price. Datalogic scanners sit in a mid to high price bracket compared to generic USB sticks you can find on discount sites. The justification for that cost is